Hi, so if you know me, you're probably thinking, what the fuck, and what did she do? And that's why I wanted to make this video, is because I've been seeing Leo Skepi getting a lot of backlash of people saying, oh my gosh, he must have done something really bad. And I used to think that too, about people who came to Christ so suddenly. I just wanted to share my experience to give a different perspective as to what it looks like to be relentlessly chased by Jesus. And that it's not always just people turning to him because they had some traumatic experience or they're afraid of death, which I think that does happen, but I just wanted to share my experience. I'm just gonna get into it because it's long. I had an ex-boyfriend. We'd been dating on and off. We've been on and off and talking for maybe like 6 months. We actually only dated for a day. That's a story for an entirely different video. He had basically come over. We'd had a conversation about the future of our relationship. Spoiler, there was none. And basically he just kind of was really mean and left me feeling just really shaken in my sense of self. I was trying to get in with my therapist sooner because I was supposed to see her in a week, but I was like, I need to debrief this with her because I could not talk to my friends about this, A, because they didn't want to hear it, and B, because they didn't know. So she could not get me in. So I actually contacted this other therapy place that I had done like 1 or 2 consultation sessions with when I first moved here, but I decided to go with a different lady. But I called them and I was just like, hey, like, it's not that deep, but like, I just like need a third party perspective on this whole situation that I'm in. And they were like, oh, we can't get you in, but stay on the line. And I was like, okay. So I stayed on the line and this lady answers and she's like, hello, crisis hotline. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I am not in a crisis. I'm very happy being alive. Like, it's actually so stupid. Like, this whole thing I'm going through, it's really not that deep at all. And she was like, oh, no worries. I haven't had any calls all night. Like, what's going on? Talk to me. And I was like, sure. What the hell, sure. So I basically told her a very, very high level overview. I basically just said, you know, my boyfriend and I think we're done for good this time. I'm afraid I'm never going to find anybody who likes me again as much as he does. You know, just like in hindsight, like embarrassing. But at the moment, you know, she basically just always told me, you know, oh, boys always come back, which we all know. And we kept talking, and then at the end she asked if she could pray for me. And I was like, oh, did I call it church? Like, what is this? She's like, no, like just my personal philosophy. And I was like, okay, I don't think that's like, and you're not supposed to do that, but like whatever. At this point, like, I was agnostic leaning atheist, so I was like, okay. But something in me, I don't know, I was just like, you know what, sure, go for it. So she starts praying for me. And it starts out with her being like, you know, dear Lord, please protect Lucy, etc., etc. And then she all of a sudden goes, ooh. And I was like, ooh. She goes, oh. She goes, God's telling me something. Which at this point, still, I was like, this lady is on something. Like, who did I get transferred to? And I don't want to go too into detail about it because it's pretty personal. She basically said, oh, it is a really good thing that you and this man are no more. And mind you, a few minutes ago, she was like saying how men always come back. And I was like, oh. And she's like, yes, God said that he did. And then she named the very, very specific problem that we had in the relationship. And I'm not going to go into it. But when I say specific, I don't mean she said something like, oh, he cheated, or oh, he didn't take you out enough. It was specific to the point that I instantly knew that she was talking with God. I guess at the time I didn't really know if it was God, but at the time I knew it was some sort of higher power that she was speaking to, because you just have to trust me when I say it was specific enough that she would not have been able to guess. And then she went on to say a few more things about my life that were also true. So we hung up. I instantly, and my stomach left instantly. You think this is like the weirdest part of the story? This is just the beginning. So 2 nights later, I went to a party at my friend's apartment, and this friend, the group that hangs out there, is like the same every time we go there. Like, so my friend and I were taking the elevator up to our friend's apartment, and we met this guy in the elevator. We were like shooting the shit with him, whatever. He got off. We got off at our floor, whatever. So like 30 minutes later at the party, this guy comes back down, and he comes over, starts talking to us. My friend goes off, he comes back, starts talking to me. We were talking like college, you know, the basic stuff. And then he had mentioned that he was in Wisconsin this weekend, like in a really small town. And I was like, why would you voluntarily, like, no offense, be in Wisconsin in that tiny, tiny town? He's like, oh, I was on a retreat with my church. Your church? He's like, yeah, do you want to go? I cannot emphasize to you, I have never met a Christian. I mean, I'm sure I have, but I've never met an open, outward, speaking about it Christian out in the wild ever in Chicago. And had this man come up to me anytime, like in my life before this, I would have been like, get away from me. But God obviously arranged this. So I went to church with him. For the next 4 or 5 Sundays, we went to church together. And I really liked the church. But after about 4 or 5 weeks, I started to realize that a lot of parts of my faith journey, I wanted to discuss with a girl. I wanted to have a girl to talk about things with. Like, this guy's great, but I did not want to be talking with him about these things. So I was telling my mom about it on the phone, and I just said that, you know, I really wish I could have a girl to go to church with because I don't know anyone at the church except for this guy. Later in the week, I was going to a game night at my friend's house, and this game night every week is the same 5 to 8 people. Like, the mixture of who's there like switches between the 8 of us, but it is always like the same people every week. It's a very intimate group. I was actually about to cancel. I texted my friend and been like, oh, it's raining, I don't think I can make it. She's like, no, like my friend can take you home. And I'm like thinking like, okay, like who of the 8 like has a car? But I get there and there's this girl I've never seen, and I'm like, oh, hey. And she's like, hi, like whatever, we introduce ourselves, and my friends were like, oh, are you still going to church with that guy? And I was like, yeah, but like I'm actually like looking for girls to go with because I just like, you know, have a lot of stuff I want to talk about, like girl talk. And this girl, she goes, oh, like you go to church? And I was like, yeah, do you? Because this game night group, none of them are Christians. So she's like, what church do you go to? And I told her the name of the church. This church has a few different branches, and so I specified, you know, what neighborhood. She's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. She immediately like starts crying, and she's like, I've been praying for a girl to go to church with because I don't know anyone. Hello? Like, so crazy. That Sunday I went to church with her. So one of our friends from game night actually met us there, and her Uber driver, I'm not going to tell you what his name was, but I think you can guess. It starts with a J. Yeah, like I never ever thought I would be making this. I never thought I'd be saying this. I hope someone got something from this. Okay.